that are at the heart of our democracy. Is this simply a bribe? Cash is being provided for votes, is the charge the opposition makes. Do these cash freebies on the eve of an election and then being given during the polls actually violate the model code of conduct? And will these cash freebies now decide the Bihar elections? Those are some of the questions I'll raise. Joining me now, Dr. S.Y. Qureshi. He is, of course, a former Chief Election Commissioner. Anshul Abhijit contested from here in Patna on a Congress ticket during Lok Sabha, national spokesperson. Dr. Ajay Alok, national spokesperson of the BJP, also a Patna citizen. And Major General Anil Verma is the head of the Association of Democratic Reforms that is trying to clean up our democracy. Appreciate your joining us. Dr. Qureshi, I want to come to you straight. Do you believe prima facie a scheme which is launched a week before the elections, 10,000 rupees is paid to 75 lakh women, and then while the campaign is on, 10,000 is being given to more women every week? Is this a violation of the model code, or is this simply playing with the law, weaponizing legality in a way by saying this is an ongoing scheme?
Well, Rajiv, is not a new issue. In every election, this kind of thing comes up. It used to come up in our time also. But we were very, very clear that an ongoing scheme is one. For instance, if a road is being built or a canal is being built, that is for public welfare. That will not be stopped. But very clearly, individually benefiting a scheme, individual beneficiaries were getting something, was to be stopped. Even if the scheme had already been announced, the disbursement would stop. And I'm just shocked to hear this in your own bulletin a minute ago, that the permission was taken from the Election Commission with the dates given. Now, government has deep pockets. Why did they do it in 3 installments? Very calibrated timing. All that definitely, our interpretation has always been that even offering a cup of tea is considered bribe to influence voters. Bribe, which is a criminal offense under the IPC and under the Representation of People Act. It can lead to disqualification of the candidate and annulment of the election. In such a situation, I do not have words to comment on.
But because Dr. Qureshi, what the government, Bihar government is saying is that we announced this scheme in the last week of August. Then the Prime Minister gave 75 lakh women on the 23rd of September, and it's being carried forward into October. Do you believe that this is therefore going to be treated as an ongoing scheme, or do you believe prima facie, when the elections are on, the campaign is on, you cannot give the balance amount?
Yes, exactly.
Or the balance women?
Correct. That's what I said. That the ongoing scheme is something which cannot be distributed and divided over individual beneficiaries. Individual beneficiary based scheme definitely was stopped. Even if it was ongoing, if suppose 1,000 beneficiaries have got it, after that the next one will not get it after the model code comes into play. And secondly, if I can take it to a larger issue, I have been suggesting and demanding that why did that the bright ideas for people's welfare come to the mind of politician after being in power for 4 years and 11 months? Why not immediately after coming to power? So I have been demanding that 6 months before the election, due date of the election, all these freebies and all these offers, new scheme should not be allowed.
That's a very good point you're making, because Dr. Ajay Alok, I spoke to a top Bihar IAS officer, and what he told me is shocking. He said that a letter was written to the Bihar EC asking for permission to the scheme. The Bihar EC did not act on it. Then the letter was sent to the Central Election Commission, and Gyanesh Kumar, the Central Election Commissioner, gave them permission to allow this scheme to continue. And according to some IAS sources, this was done under pressure from the center. Is this not a straight bribe? The Prime Minister of the country has repeatedly said there should be a debate on Revdi and freebies. Now the same government is giving freebies. The BJP-JDU allies are giving cash transfers 1 week before the election, and during the campaign itself, November 7th is the next tranche, and there is voting on November 11th. Is this not a straightforward bribe?
Rajdeep, I guess you don't have amnesia. You remember things very nicely. I know that. This scheme was announced in the last week of August. Prime Minister inaugurated it on 26th. By 15th,
Yes.
yes, by 15th of September, the government of Bihar wrote a letter to Central Election Commission and the Election Commission Bihar that this is the scheme, we are going to launch it on 26th, and subsequently the disbursement date will be as follows, which was duly approved. Number one. Number two, Mr. Qureshi was saying any individual thing, even a cup of tea is considered a bribe. Sir, your time is over. Now Election Commission has fixed the cup of tea rate to rupees 10, coffee rupees 15, and everything accounts for the expenditure. Even the Karkarta, those who come in, they are also voters and they are entitled for a cup of tea and a food packet or whatever. Second thing, and the most important thing, this is not an individualistic scheme. What both of you are saying, I don't know, just to put on the narrative, this is not an individualistic scheme. This is the scheme for SHG group, which are registered with the government. Self-helping group of women, which are registered with the women. They are more than 10 lakh. This is not an individual scheme. The government know all the names well in advance.
Ajay Alok, there is no harm. Sir, just a minute. Sir, just a minute. Sir, no one is denying that women can get these benefits. But when you do it during the campaign, that's the point. When you start giving a calendar that includes 3 days before the polls, 4 days, that's wrong. It's prima facie immoral. It may not be illegal, but it is immoral. Do you agree or not?
Who are you to decide what is wrong, what is right? If you have so much problem, we have taken commission in the second week of September. You were sleeping from then till now. You have gone to the court. Those who have objection now, they should have gone to the court. September itself, when the Central Election Commission allowed it. It's there in the Election Commission norm that the ongoing schemes of the government cannot be stopped after the election. It's there in the Constitution of Election Commission. Please go and study it. Without the basis of homework, you just try to put a narrative. That's not going
ongoing
to
scheme.
Elections are going to over in next 7 days.
Sir,
it's not going to play. Nahi chipkega.
Sir, an ongoing scheme is initiated. An ongoing scheme.
संविधान खटाखट उसी के हिसाब से है.
Anshul Abhijit, you want to respond? Ajay Alok is saying, when your leader is saying, hum khatakat benefits denge, when there are states like Karnataka where guarantees are given, when you have a situation where now Tejaswi Yadav is saying, we come to power, we'll give you 30,000. This is a battle of freebies across the parties. How is the BJP different to what the Congress promises?
Oh, come on, Rajdeep. That was a vision document for the future. You've decimated Bihar, and we've come up with a radical plan to rejuvenate Bihar, have schemes for its economic revival. That cannot be compared to an absolute transactional bribe which flouts the model code of conduct. Look, the election, we all know how unprincipled and unscrupulous the BJP is. They will go to any extent. We've heard it in all the Prime Minister's speeches as well. He can say anything he wants in his speeches. I'm not even going to respond to that. But the Election Commission here is mired itself in deep controversy that started with SIR and it continues. They have the discretionary power to decide what is an ongoing scheme, the nature of that ongoing scheme. If they do not use that discretionary power, this scheme did not have any budgetary allocation. We know what the budget was for Bihar in 2025. It was 3.2 crores. There was no such allocation. The scheme itself cost 1.5 lakh crores or whereabouts. It is a centrally funded scheme because the Bihar government has no money in it. We know what the transactional value and shameless value of that scheme was. You know, let me tell you, Rajdeep, what's going on all over the country with these kind of schemes. You've taken away people's jobs. You've taken away people's livelihoods. In Bihar, there is no scope for unemployment. There is poverty everywhere. There is migration. And in the end, when you want to get votes, you said, we have this compensatory thing for you. Don't worry. We are going to try these schemes. If that doesn't work, we are going to try and use the word Guspetia or Katta and other sign of words to get your votes. This is the nature, this is the sad, regrettable nature of BJP and NDA politics. It's absolutely shameful.
Okay.
And they've co-opted the Election Commission into this, which is an absolute disgrace.
You mentioned the Election Commission, and I want to come to you, General Verma, on that because you head ADR, Association of Democratic Reforms. Do you believe the Election Commission is the one which has to answer the questions? Because you've got the BJP will say this is an ongoing scheme. Should the Election Commission have been the one which should have drawn the red line and say, no, during the campaign, you will not disperse cash?
Rajdeep, good evening and good evening to all the panelists. I would like to just read what the Model Code of Conduct of the Election Commission of India says. From the time elections are announced by the Commission, ministers and other authorities shall not A. Announce any financial grants in any form or promises thereof, or B. Except civil servants, lay foundation stones, etc. of projects, of schemes of any kind, or any promise of construction of roads, provision of drinking water facilities, etc. Now, if this is what the Model Code of Conduct says, I leave it to your listeners to decide whether the present Election Commission is following what the Model Code of Conduct says. And Dr. Manoj Jha has filed a petition, or he's written an application. Then the Election Commission should respond to him and tell him, yes, this is permissible.
Okay, the Election Commission sources are saying it's permissible to us because it's an ongoing scheme. But I put this question to the two main parties, Tejaswi Yadav of the RJD and to Samrat Chaudhary, Deputy Chief Minister from the BJP. I asked them the direct question, is this a bribe or not? Are you bribing the voters? Listen to what Tejaswi Yadav said and what Samrat Chaudhary said. युवा एक आपका टारगेट वोटर है, जो यंग वोटर है, जो नया वोटर है, क्योंकि कई वोटर 25 साल से कम है. दूसरा टारगेट महिला, क्योंकि नीतीश जी ने मुख्यमंत्री रोजगार योजना के तहत 10,000 रुपए 10,000 rupees have been given to more than 1.2 crore women. लोग कह रहे हैं ये गेम चेंजर है. बिहार में जिस पार्टी को महिला वोट देती है वो जीतती है. नीतीश जी का ये एक तरह से वोट बैंक बन गया है, महिला वोट बैंक. क्या आप मानते हैं आप युवा को टारगेट कर रहे हैं, वो महिलाओं को कर रहे हैं?
रिश्वत देना इज अ गेम चेंजर.
आप इसे रिश्वत कह रहे हैं?
रिश्वत है. 20 साल से तो याद नहीं आया था नीतीश बाबू को या एनडीए के लोगों को.
ये कह रहे हैं वेलफेयर है.
लेट्स बी कंप्लीट. ठीक चुनाव से पहले और चुनाव के बीच कल भी 10-10 हजार रुपए महिलाओं के खाते में डाले गए. और ये उधार है, ये लोन है. इंटरेस्ट के समय महिलाओं को वापस भी करना पड़ेगा. कई महिलाओं ने दिवाली और छठ में पैसे भी खर्च कर दिए. और ये पैसा इसलिए दिया गया ताकि वो अपना व्यवसाय जो है शुरू कर सके. सो कॉल्ड, आपको भी पता है, हमको भी पता है, 10,000 में कौन सा व्यवसाय जो है शुरू कर सकती है. ये साफ तौर पे चुनाव के समय पैसे दिए जा रहे हैं 10,000 रुपए. तो ये रिश्वत नहीं तो और क्या है?
इलेक्शन कमीशन ने तो कुछ कहा नहीं.
इलेक्शन कमीशन क्या करेगी? नैतिकता कहाँ रहेगी? अब इलेक्शन कमीशन की विश्वसनीयता कहाँ रहेगी? है
आप कह रहे हैं खुलेआम ये रिश्वत है और इलेक्शन कमीशन
एकदम है. बिहार की जनता कह रही है रिश्वत है.
बट इट कुड इन्फ्लुएंस वोट्स. ये लाडकी बहन महाराष्ट्र में हमने देखा जिस तरह से
माताओं बहनों को रिश्वत नहीं चाहिए. घर में नौकरी और रोजगार चाहिए अपने बाल बच्चों के लिए.
एक और आरोप लग रहा है कि जो 10,000 रुपए महिलाओं को दिए गए हैं मुख्यमंत्री रोजगार योजना में, वो विपक्ष कह रही है घूस है. सीधा चुनाव के, अगर आपने महिलाओं के लिए इतना कुछ किया होता तो 10,000 रुपए चुनाव के पहले देने की क्या जरूरत थी? चुनाव के पहले छोड़िए, चुनाव चल रहा है और आप अभी भी महिलाओं को पैसे दे रहे हैं. ये कहा जा रहा है ये सीधा घूस है. इट इज अ ब्राइब.
देखिए एक चीज समझिए, पूरा बिहार जानता है कि लोकसभा में महिला बिल किसने फाड़ा था, वो राजद लालू जी के गुंडों ने फाड़ा था। 30 साल हो गए, आरक्षण नहीं लागू हो पाया। मोदी जी ने 1/3 आरक्षण देकर 29 से इसकी व्यवस्था की। नीतीश जी ने महिलाओं के सम्मान के लिए 50% आरक्षण दी। आज 60% महिलाएं बिहार में प्रतिनिधि बनकर हैं। तो बिहार में महिला का सम्मान क्या होता है वो एनडीए जानती है। और जीविका दीदी को 10,000 जीविका दीदी को जोड़ते जोड़ते आज 1,70,00,000 महिलाएं इससे जुड़ी है। और उनको
10,000 से क्या हो? आप लोग कह रहे हैं जैसे 10,000 जब आपने चुनाव के पहले दिए, फिर 1 साल पहले दे देते, 2 साल पहले, सडनली कैसे चुनाव आता है पैसे दे दो? ये एक तरह से जो विपक्ष कह रही है घूस है।
56,000 करोड़ का मार्केट जीविका दीदियों का है जी। उनको लखपति बनाने का काम शुरू किया गया। 2 लाख रुपए तक हम सहायता करेंगे और उनको लखपति दीदी बनाएंगे। ये हम लोगों का घोषणा है। और 1 करोड़ महिलाओं को लखपति बनाना है बिहार में।
नहीं, ये आप महिलाओं के लिए कुछ अच्छा करना चाहते हैं, इस पर दो राय नहीं है। लेकिन जिस तरह से टाइमिंग हुई है,
क्या टाइमिंग?
आप चुनाव चल रहा है और आप 10,000 रुपए दे रहे हैं।
राजदीप जी, ये योजना है
जी,
कोई भी फार्म भरेगा उसको मिल जाएगा। इसमें कोई किसी का रुकावट नहीं। जो आवेदन करेंगी महिला बहनें उनको मिलना है। राजद ने साफ साफ बता दिया कि मैं महिला विरोधी पहले भी था और आज भी हूं। उसने रोकने के लिए चिट्ठी लिखा। तो यह स्पष्ट दिखता है कि पहले भी हमारे लिए परिवार, राजद का परिवार, पहले लालू जी अपने पत्नी और बेटी को ही परिवार महिला मानते हैं। और पूरा प्रदेश की महिला जिसकी समृद्धि होनी है उसके लिए कभी काम नहीं किया। तो जनता जान चुकी है।
So you've heard two sides of the story. I want to get Dr. Qureshi in again. Dr. Qureshi, what should be done? Should the model code of conduct now be changed to make sure, as you said, 6 months before an election, no cash welfare schemes can come into place? Is that feasible given that we have so many elections in this country all the time?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Ajay Alok for admitting that times have changed. That is exactly the point. In our time, it was very routine. These, as I mentioned, these kind of cases used to come before us, and we had very clearly defined them that an individual beneficiary scheme had to be stopped, even if it is ongoing. Only collective beneficiary were like road and canal or something, only those could continue. So, well, either change the model code. In fact, not only the model code, it is in the IPC, Indian Penal Code, section 171 B and E, and also section 123(1) of Representation of People Act. You have to change the act, you have to change the model code, and if you want this to be the normal practice, so be it. Okay, let it be done. Now the ball is in the court of the CEC. If the complaint has come, and they have to decide whether it is individual beneficiary scheme or not. And they can stop it even now, which I think they should.
Okay. You're saying they can stop it even now and they should. Ajay Alok, respond. Here is a former chief election commissioner saying that prima facie he believes what has been done should not have happened.
See, that could be his purview. I don't deny that. But as a responsible government, we wrote it before announcement of the election, and we took permission from Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commission of Bihar. And if any of my esteemed opposition, super brilliant opposition, they had any objection, then they should have moved to the court then and then, way back in September, not shouting, not machaing hai toba now. Even Rajdeep Sar Desai, as a responsible citizen, should have gone to the court that, my lord, this should not be allowed in the month of November or in the month of October. This is violation of model code of conduct. None of you did that. Now you are getting illusion and delusion. And by the way, let me remind my Congress, this scheme is not a 1.5 lakh crore. 7,500 crores have been earmarked in the budget way back in February. It was planned then only. And it is already taken out of the budget. That's why we are going to allot. So whenever you raise any question, please do the homework nicely. Bihar government has planned this, executed this, and this is being
executed. It's a 20,000 crore.
Now, why you are having apathy with the poor women of this country? Tejaswi is saying ye udhar hai. लौटाना पड़ेगा. Look at the blatant lie he's
Okay.
speaking on in front of you, and you didn't challenge him. That Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister of the state, Home Minister, everybody has said no, this is not refundable, and he's saying lies in front of you, and you are encouraging him. I mean, why you guys are trying to set a narrative which is not going to work? Elections are just 7 days away. The first day after tomorrow, and today is 4th. So this is not going to work. Please do your homework carefully, otherwise after 14 you will keep on
Okay,
having
you made your
delusions and
point.
illusions all the
Anshul,
time, and we won't be able to help you.
You know, Ajay Alok, I am not going to the court. It's not my job. It's the job of the opposition. So Anshul Abhijit, respond to Ajay Alok that you should have gone to the court in the month of September if you found it objectionable. A quick response.
No, we objected. I mean, this is, look at the shamelessness here. That anything we object to, the first response is go to the court. Of course, we'll go to the court. They
You
want us
yourself all the time say
no, hang on a
Samvidhan,
minute.
Khatakhat,
Hang on.
Khatakhat. Go to the court.
अजय भाई रुक जाइए, जवाब तो देने दीजिए. आपको तो मौका मिल गया. स्कीम तो आपकी चली रही है. तो आपको परेशानी किस बात की है? तो आप रिलैक्स करिए ना. मैं ये कह रहा हूं, नहीं राजदीप भाई, लिसन टू मी. दैट इज व्हाट दे वांट कि हम कोर्ट कचहरी के चक्कर काटते रहे. नहीं. Look, hang on. This is a much deeper and a far more deeper argument that concerns the Indian state. How institutions are being completely abused, taken over, and then said, no, apply to the court. When the verdict will come, they will have your reprieve or not have your reprieve. It's an absurd argument. It's been said time and again. What is the point of all this? You have to go to the court and challenge their every decision, particularly before an election, when there are such transgressions. It's completely transgressive here, what is happening. You know, you cannot give anything to the Bihar people. You've robbed them of their livelihood, and this is a compensatory state. As many people have argued, you have reduced this state to being a compensatory state.
I've heard all sides. I've heard all sides. I think the jury is out. And I think these are troubling questions as to how far can any government go with its cash transfers. This is a debate that this country needs to have. And it's a debate that is urgent in a country like ours where several state finances are struggling. But I appreciate my guest joining me.